Hello friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside and this week's weekly nursery tour. Jerry and I are here at the crack of dawn trying to beat the heat because yes, we are in August in North Carolina, zone 7B. So this is the time of year where gardeners just want to just like hit cruise control and just maintain and keep going. Totally understand, I am there also. However, there are some areas in our garden that at this time of the year may start to look a little sad, tired, worn out, exhausted, right? Maybe you had spring plantings of annuals and they have just kind of petered out for whatever reason, right? Life happens and sometimes we can't always maintain our containers or the ground, landscaping, and you need a little bit of a help. So that is where I find myself in this time of year. In my garden, there are areas where I've had to say maybe, okay, Verbena, you just didn't do so good and you look terrible. Yes, I could spend some time, trying to bring you back, but at this point you're like, is it worth it? Is it not? So I have pulled some things out. I have pulled some containers out and replanted them. This is the Asian water bowl from Unique Stone. If you remember eons ago, Jerry and I originally had hopes that we were going to turn this into a fountain. We decided, no, we're just going to use it as a container. So at the nursery, we put it right here in this beautiful bed that at some point we are going to landscape, y'all, I promise. This is a little lime hydrangea standard tree form. So it's perfect. It is just really coming into its beautiful blooms. I had planted this in the spring. Actually, my mama had planted it for me in the spring with a bunch of annuals. They did great. I went ahead and pulled them out just because it was more on my end that we weren't maintaining it like it should. So I pulled them out and I filled it with caladiums. It is the same caladium all throughout. And when you're using caladiums in mass, and especially like a big area like this, it makes a big impact. So that is what we're going to focus on today on part of the nursery tour, is talking about how can you use caladiums in your landscape even in August. You can successfully plant them in your garden and they will go all the way through till the nighttime temperatures get really, really cool. And as you know, that's going to be a while for us. Because when Jerry and I are talking to customers here at the nursery, we feel like there's still a bit of confusion about how you can use caladiums. Of course, caladiums of yesteryear were really shade-loving caladiums. Like you would not dare put a caladium out in the sun. Well, thanks to the genetics and the wonderful tinkerings of the horticulture industry, we now have caladiums that can handle and actually love full sun conditions. All of these caladiums come from Florida, and they are grown in massive, huge, wide open fields. They get sun up to sun down. We have caladiums here at the nursery that, just like this container, that as soon as the sun pops up over the trees, it does not get a break until the sun goes down on the other end. So caladiums absolutely can go in full sun. Are there caladiums that still prefer the shade? Absolutely. That is the importance of reading your tag. So I want to go through and just talk about different ways that you can use caladiums in landscapes and containers and all sorts of things in your garden, because y'all, these are the best plants ever. Japanese beetles do not like them. The sawtooth larva caterpillar do not like these. So those little things that tend to chew on your plants, they don't like caladiums. So we're gonna go in the nursery, in the greenhouse here, because we do still have that special with the caladiums, buy one, get one free. So now is the perfect time to come on out here, find some caladiums that look great, that will work in your landscape. Can we stop for just for a second, and we're gonna pivot here, because can we just talk about this hibiscus? You know, Jenny, I'm sorry. No, we're not stopping. We're just stopping talking about caladiums. But look at this. Remember we planted this easy scape? Oh my stars. This hibiscus is she is rocking. So all three of them are. So we had to take a little detour, put the brakes on, and come over here. Oh, love it. And these came to us as 72 plugs, right, Jerry? Did we?
Nah, they were bare root.
No, they were grown already. Okay, we got them from another nursery. Because I was going to.
They were bare root.
They were bare root?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is still a 1-year-old plant though, right? For us?
Yeah.
Yes. So we potted up, sorry, we just had a little mini conversation right there. This is a 1-year plant for us. We potted these up as bare roots this year. But look at that. And this is, I always forget which one this is, evening rose. This is evening rose. So it will have that bit of that darker foliage and then that hot pink. I mean, stunning, stunning. So now back to caladiums. I know I threw Jerry for a loop. I mean, he's got to pay attention with me because I did say stop, but I meant like stop with caladiums. All right, here we are. Now, in the nursery, let's talk about when you go to visit your local garden center and you have, you're looking at your plants, right? This is, as a grower, as a retailer, a garden center, this is one reason why we love Proven Winners, because with every Proven Winner plant, you get an amazing tag. So here we have Blushing Bride. And so just a little tutorial on how to read their tags. Of course, it has your name, it has a picture, but then do you notice this number right here? So that number is going to tell you how tall the plant gets. So I'm moving my finger out of the way. So it tells you how tall, that's your height. It's not working a little bit. All right, but it also tells you right there beside of it, it tells you your sun conditions. So this says sun to shade. That means it can go full sun or it can go in the shade. Either one, it will be just fine. So Blushing Bride is that beautiful white with the green and the pink. You will notice though, if you have, let's say I planted Blushing Bride in full sun, and then I planted another Blushing Bride in full shade, there will be a little bit of color variation, very much like coleus. So depending on where you put it, your colors will change a little bit. But we have, let's see if we can find, I don't know, I may have used all of them. Heart's Delight is here, doing great. I love Heart's Delight. It is a nice kind of the reddish pink, depends on what you put with it. More of an intense color with that green edging, really nice. It too is a sun to shade, because we have all, I think the ones that are just specifically shade, we have them over there in the pines. Fast Flash. For some reason, I just love Fast Flash the best right now. Well, it's kind of like saying who's your favorite child. You really can't say. But I have Fast Flash at the house with my hay racks, my window boxes, and I have nothing but this caladium in there. So you can see from these pictures that it makes a huge impact from a distance. Just like the water bowl, when you plant the same plant in multiple numbers, it makes a huge impact. And all I'm doing is watering those things. It's not on irrigation. When I remember, I'm trying, of course the temperatures are going up, so I'm having to water a little bit more, but I'm watering about every other day on those things because these are not water hogs. Like they don't like have to just have tons of water like maybe a petunia does. So Fast Flash is fantastic. I even went ahead and took it because my unique stone urns that are beside the garage, I planted those in there as well. And then like if you're looking for some white, this is, where is it? Oh, you know what? So that's really interesting, y'all. Okay, so this is the bold and beautiful. So sun to shade, but, and I remember reading this, I don't know, can you focus on that tag? Notice that the tag, where they're really more kind of red, but sitting here and looking at these, they're more white. And that is just because of the maturity of the leaves and the amount of sun that they are getting. Now you can see some of them do have those darker leaves, but as they're aging, they're turning more white. So it's really kind of fun with the caladiums. They're kind of like a chameleon of plants. While we're talking about foliage, we're gonna pivot here for a second. You remember, like, was it last week? Yeah, I think it was last week. We were here 2 weeks ago maybe, and I was talking about the coleus and how it was like super tall, right? And it's okay if you just trim it, it'll bush back out. Well, later that day, Jerry texted me and he was like, hey, can I take the hedge trimmers to the coleus and prune it back? And I was like, sure. You know, I was thinking like, you know, like halfway. I came in the nursery and I was like, oh my word, son, like y'all think I'm rough. This boy just went to town. But they looked a little rough there in the beginning, but look, already flushing back out. And I guarantee you, a week from now, this whole plant will just be filled, covered in brand new foliage. So this just goes to prove, Mr. Simpson certainly proved the point that you don't have to be super careful when you're trimming your coleus. It may look a little rough in the beginning, but long term, they will flush out and do great. So the coleus, they're starting to bounce back now for sure. Now, with caladiums also, can you put them directly in the ground? Absolutely. We have multiple areas, both here at the nursery, in the trial beds, and at the gate. Full sun in the trial beds. Some of them are kind of half and half at the gate, and they are doing wonderful. I do love this one. This is Splash of Wine. Yeah, Splash of Wine. We don't have very many splashes of wine left for obvious reasons. Like, look at that. Is that not gorgeous? But folks, if you have a container that's just sad or pitiful, don't sit there and stare at it for the rest of the season. We still have a lot of growing time left. Rip it out, come get this one caladium and throw it in a pot, and it is going to take you all the way through. Because these caladiums that are in the bigger containers like this one, when you look at the shape on that, it's great. Now, are there some tired leaves on there? Absolutely. Just go in there and prune them off. It's no big deal. But let me show you over here. Look how the angelonas are just flushing out and just so happy. This is another one that they really whacked back. Like, look, it was taken back to right here. Can you see that? That's how far they pruned these babies down. And now look at it. See, don't be afraid to prune your annuals. I promise they will. It'll look rough for a week or two. They will flush back out. But come over here. Don't ever underestimate the power of using caladiums in containers. Remember, keep it simple, sweetie, right? Look at this. Look at that. This one is, who is this? Radiance with lemon coral sedum, right? Very, very simple. Massive leaves on this thing. Absolutely gorgeous and pristine. Huge. So you can do a mixed container of something like the caladiums that are like your tall and a spiller if you want, or keep it really simple and then just simply, like I was talking about that splash of wine, take that splash of wine and put it in a container. There you go, all by itself. Now when your leaves start to get, because of course they're continually putting out new leaves, so when you have an older leaf, just pull it off. It's not that big of a deal just to pull it off, or take your snips and you can just snip them off, okay? So you can keep the plant cleaned up. It's super simple. Look, I just pulled them off just like that. It took me like literally 3 seconds to do. But I tell you, there's so many great things. All right, let's come on over here to, we'll walk through the nursery right quick, see what's going on. Look at this Coreopsis. If you want a perennial that is a continuous repeat bloomer that loves the heat and summer, Coreopsis is a great one. And there are tons of different Coreopsises out there. This Uptick is our favorite. It seems to perform the absolute best for us here in the South. It just is, I mean, she just is a little workhorse. And so you don't have to deadhead. If you want to come out and pick on them, you certainly can. But again, this makes great mass. It's not going to be very tall. Uptick only gets to be that 12 to 14 inches tall. So it may get a little bit taller than that, but not too much. Zones 5 to 9. So very, very adaptable for all sorts of different climates, but it is a full sun perennial. And for us in the South, it'll even be like a semi-evergreen in the wintertime. Obviously, you're not going to have your flowers, but you'll keep your little mound. All right. Come on over. I was also going to say, when we're talking about keep it simple, right? Look at this macho fern. So this macho fern, early in the spring, because we were selling them, the different ferns, and just for simplicity's sake, it was still in its container, and I just plopped it into this. I bought this years and years and years ago. It looks like a bird bath, but it's meant to be a planter. So I just literally stuck it in there, not potted. It was in its original pot. And Jerry was like, oh my gosh, I love that. So I took it out and actually planted it, and it is doing great. So you don't have to have, every container does not have to be this massive, intricate planting, right? Of course we love those, but you can also just go simple and put a beautiful fern in there, and voila, there you go. You'll notice that my echinacea are on their way out. I'm gonna leave them though, because my little birds will come and eat the seeds out of the top. The Mangaves, oh my gosh, y'all, each one of these are now 2 plants. Look at this. So this one is Mission to Mars. There's 2 plants right there. So you really could go in here and divide these out. So this fall, when I take them out, I'll probably go ahead and separate them and have 2. And then we have snow leopard. Here is one. And then there is a pup. What's it, what we call it? A pup is right there. So Mangaves are wonderful because they grow so much faster than agaves, and they can handle a lot more water than agaves. So you can plant them all together. And they're really fun. Like, I'm having the most fun with these Mangaves. Now, over here, where do those Caladiums go, Jer? Are they right here in the back? In the very back, because we put them back here in the shade. Oh yeah, here we go. All right, so wonderful plants to add into your shade gardens. I had a fella out here this week, last week, and he needed to replace some baskets that were in full shade. Don't ever forget about, look at this Pegasus begonia. And it's just a foliage plant. Pegasus is not going to produce flowers. If it does, it's very minimal, like it's minute. Pegasus is fantastic for your shade gardens. It is an annual, but look how big and beautiful this is. You could put this in a basket and it would be stunning. I have it in the landscape by the forest pansy. Love it as a filler. So again, and these are $5 because there's that end of year special. So here we have more of the shade loving Caladiums. So you can see that even though it's in the shade, you're going to get lots of good pops of color. So they're just all in here. These are the quart size ones. And they're just, you know, get in there, fill it in, be really happy, and they will be fantastic. Lemon, what was the... One of my favorite ones for the shade is down here. So let's come down here. I want to show you. I planted it in, it's a window box, but it's not really a window box. We're going to detour over here. Jerry can't keep up with me. You know, the drinking gourd I replaced. I had a coleus in here along with a double impatient. Well, it was actually the newly noir coleus, and it just couldn't, it was so shady in here. It was just, it couldn't handle this amount of shade. So I put in Splash of Wine, and look how pretty that is. Like, it's really filling in, really pretty contrast with the hosta. Looks really nice. As is the aqua pot that I planted up, gosh, way early. You're talking about neglected. That one is completely neglected. If we remember to put water in it, we're doing good. So it is over there. I did a mixture of 2 different Caladiums in that one. It's holding its own and doing just fine right over there. And then this is the one that I was telling you about. That's one of my, probably one of my favorite shade Caladiums. This one is the, lemon blush. So you can see the lemon blush there. I think the one in the middle might be getting a little bit more water, it's a little taller, but really fun with those pinky red centers, really nice bright lemony yellow color, lemony yellow green color on the edgings. But this is one that is going to be for the shade. And when you're looking at your tag, again, this is why we love proven winter tags. Look at that. So on the tag, it says shade. So that means, ding, 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 if you put me in full sun, I'm just gonna wither away and not be very happy. So make sure that you're looking at your proven winter tags. There's a wealth of information there. Now, moving on to some more fun stuff, unique stone. If you will remember, we let you know that we got in the first round, it's the first round, it's not all of them, of the unique stone pieces. We only received the ancient age color. So if you ordered light walnut or sienna red, a different color, we don't have it yet. We only have the ancient age. So we have these down here at the nursery on display that are for sale for folks. Now, when I found out that this was going to be the only order that I was going to be able to place for this year, Amy at Unique Stone said, Jenny, just load up your order and, you know, put anything you think that you might need in there. So I did. I had some fun. This is the pavilion urn. This sucker is gorgeous. It is massive, but it's gorgeous. So if you have a big area that you want to make a statement in, both this pavilion urn and the Savannah urn next to us will make a gorgeous statement. The pedestal and the bowl are two separate pieces, just for ease of movement. But this is the kind that you can easily put like a hydrangea in. You can put perennials in. Remember with the Savannah stone, this is the one my mom has in her, in the pines, and she has hostas and ferns in there. She will leave it in there for multiple years until they outgrow it. So the bigger the container, the more plants you can put in there, and the plants that will get bigger, right? So you can put a fairy trail bride with maybe some other stuff in there. You could put a firelight tidbit, right? So you can think big on these big planters. So this is really fun. And then this is the jumbo jardiniere. I love these things. They are simple, but I just think they are stunning. So these are called the jumbo jardiniere. So this is large, medium, small, extra small. You can have one by itself, again, great for a hydrangea. Even this one would be. Or if you wanted to make a collection, you could mix different sizes and put them together. So the jardinières are wonderful. And then I do love this this is the short egg urn. So if the pavilion urn's too big or the Savannah urn's too big, maybe the short egg urn would work for you. This is one piece. It does come as one, so they're not separate. But this is a beautiful piece. One of our sweet customers has one that arrived, and she got a pedestal. So she's gonna put hers on a pedestal to raise it up a little bit. The bowl size was perfect. She just needed a little bit more height. So she got a pedestal to put underneath there. Look at the lemon blush caladium over there. See, isn't that pretty? So I've got an upright yew, the caladium. There's a euchera next door to it. I think that's evening gown. And then on this side is that Feather Falls grass. So think mixing containers, annuals, perennials, all together. And then over here, this is not all the pieces. Jerry and I are still, this morning, before the sun gets too far up, we're gonna bring down the rest of the pieces. But we've got, of course, the Charleston Basket Boy. These are always so popular. You have the Basket Boy, then the bird bath boy. He makes it, you know, you can have a bird bath with him. And then of course the hummingbird, the square and the trough. Both of these are just so popular, hold lots of plants, do wonderful. And then of course I had some fun whimsy pieces. The toadstool is really fun. Cute little, it's got all sorts of little ornaments on it, but it's meant to be a stool and it's very comfy on your tush. So this is a fantastic, if you need a little sitting spot in your garden. You have the toadstool, mushrooms, of course, the shroomies, we sell those as a set. So they are very happy. And then we have pineapples. We have the estate pineapple, which is the round one, and then we're going to bring down the taller, the pineapple with the rope and weave. So we've got those. We have, of course, our sassy frogs, because you know how much I love these sassy frogs. So we've got them. When you're coming and looking at the nursery and you're looking at prices, I have everything labeled. So if you don't see a tag, like flip it over. So there's a price tag on the bottom. And then this is a frog with fly. So I haven't found the fly yet, but that's what it's called. It reminds me of just a big old giant toad. Maybe the fly's on his nose. Maybe that's what it is. See right there? I don't know. Anyway, he's cute. So you can put them out there. So come see us. They are all over here at the Pines because it just makes it easy. People can pull up right here and we can load them up. So unique stone, we've got it in ancient age only right now. When we get the other colors, I promise we will let you know as soon as it arrives. But come over here and shop. They make great gifts. They make great gifts for yourself. So come see us Wednesdays through Saturday, 8 to 1. All of our information is out there on social media, and we look forward to seeing you. So if you're not local, if you can, come see us. If not, go to your local garden center. See what they have going on, and I'm sure you'll have a couple of good finds for sure. As always, thanks so much for gardening with Creekside. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.